Right, so you're welcome to another episode of GH Movie Freaks Hot Take with Tony Asankomah. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's already subscribed to this channel and everybody that has been leaving comments and reacting to these videos. I'm going to keep doing these videos, possibly um, weekly, and also preparing to roll out the actual podcast, which is going to be proper film conversations. But let's just stick with the hot take for now. Today, I'm not going to be reacting to a video. I'm reacting to a comment on a post that I feel is conversation worthy, and I'm just going to be brief about this one. This was a comment that was, made on a post by the National Film Authority somewhere last month on the 29th. Essentially, the National Film Authority is calling for, how do I say, they are calling for script writers to, prepare, scripts that have to do with the character Kweku Ananse. And I think I'm not here to do the job of the NFA for them, but I've always maintained that they need to be a bit more specific and a bit more particular about how they, communicate some of these things to people. I think that they can go beyond just putting this out on social media. I think they can do a lot more by engaging people to get people to understand exactly what they are trying to do with this particular activity. I think it's a brilliant activity nonetheless, and I'm actually not reacting to the post itself, but a comment that was made by someone under the post, and I feel like think what you want to think about the NFA and some of their activities. I think they are up to something, and it's very important that we do not only just sit aloof and look at them. We should support them, even if it involves us criticizing them. But I'm reacting to this very comment that I saw under the post from someone that I believe is a filmmaker, because I actually checked this person's profile out and I realized they are a filmmaker, and they, he was putting out some very ill-informed comments that I'm actually reacting to. And let's just take a look at that for now and see, so that you get an understanding of what I'm talking about. So this gentleman, well, after seeing the post, was like, in an era like this, you still want stories about Kweku Ananse. I'm just passing by, please. And he added laughing emojis to the post, basically to sort of ridicule the initiative by the NFA, which I think is disappointing. From someone who happens to be a filmmaker. I checked his profile out. He's a filmmaker. He's dabbled in some work. He has a YouTube channel that I deliberately crossed out this thing because I'm not trying to make this post or this video about him. I'm not trying to attack him, but I'm reacting to the comment he made. Okay, when you read the comment, it smacks of malice. It's someone who's trying to ridicule a good initiative like this, and is trying to make it seem like there's no point in us making films about Kweku Ananse in this era. So, I mean, if anybody chances on that post and go through the comments, I tried engaging this person, trying to get them to understand that it is right, or there's absolutely nothing wrong for us to be making films about Kweku Ananse, particularly because if you don't make those films, the time is going to come where Hollywood or any other film industry or any other writer from any part of the world can pick up stories like this, put a spin on it, and then we will be the same people who would either go and buy these films and watch, or start to criticize our Ghanaian filmmakers for not taking the initiative to tell stories like this. And someone actually, the first comment that reacted to him is something I also want people to pay attention to, where he was saying, that's what I thought, but mythologies and folklore are timeless. The era is different, but still makes sense to some of us. This is a brilliant comment, right? And again, like I said, if anyone should chance on the post itself and go through, I tried engaging this particular person up, the Felix guy that put out this post. And that's the reason why I'm actually making this video, because I feel like a lot of people are failing to understand the importance of us telling stories like this. It's going to be disappointing for us when a whole generation of kids grow up and they do not have any idea who or what Kweku Ananse is, because we failed to tell stories like this, or because we failed to even document or properly put these stories out to attract the rest of the world. I mentioned to him in the comments that a while back, a TV show that's called American Gods had a character in it called Kweku Ananse, and that character clearly was written um, based on our own Kweku Ananse, the folklore or that we grew up, listening. So it's only right that the NFA will take an initiative to, ask people to submit scripts based on that character. And they are not just submitting the scripts, there's actually a price, package associated with whichever script is selected, which I think would go a long way to encourage more people to be creative in writing stories about our folklore and about certain distinctive characters that are important to the history of us Ghanaians. We are not supposed to sit back, fold our hands and say and put up needless comments like this one from this person over here who happens to be a filmmaker. And I mean, like I said, I tried engaging him in the comments. I went further on to explain to him that it's important that we tell these stories. And this person was like, this is not the time to tell stories like this. And I asked myself, and I asked everybody watching this, what would be the better time for us to tell stories like this? Because I'm afraid that my kids might grow up and might not even know what Kweku Ananse is, who Kweku Ananse is, what he stands for. I'm even more afraid of a future where these stories are taken up by some other, production outlet, some other writer from some part of the world, and westernized or in any way, polished to not capture the true essence of what Kweku Ananse is, uh, the myth, the folklore, and polished in a way that we will sit back and say, oh, our filmmakers failed to do this. That's why somebody has come out to do this. That's why I'm reacting to this post. I think that it's important for us to pay attention to some of these things and even think about it this way. If it's about errors, right? What the NFA is asking for in this particular case is for people to tell, stories that have to do with stories that have to do with Kweku Ananse, but it didn't distinctively say what era those stories should be from. And I think that it's important that we allow creatives to be creatives. We allow people to be, pay attention to all that they can to be able to put the stories together. It could be a Kweku Ananse story, fiction, set in present day Ghana, or it doesn't necessarily have to be some over dramatized period piece or something that is would be a context that a lot of people would not be able to relate to. You can take the character itself, see its bearing on our society now, and write a script that would reflect and capture the historical essence of this character whilst taking into account the folklore, what people have come to know about that character, bring some, new, refreshing light to that character and make it interesting. That is all the NFA is asking for. But for people to sit back and be on social media and be like, no, this is not the era for us to be saying stories like this, is for me, it's quite disheartening. That's why I'm reacting to this way. I know there are a lot more people that will sit back and look at an initiative like this and try to make mockery of it, or try to see that it's not necessary or it's not important for us to be telling some of these stories. But when we've already missed the window, these things should have been done several years ago. And there are so many formats through which that these stories can be made. There are so many formats that can capture the beauty of the character, the beauty of what the character represents, and how it even has bearing on our current society. And I feel like, yes, it's a brilliant initiative. I'm not holding brief again for the NFA, because I feel they need to be up to the task in making sure they communicate to the grassroots, the low level, or should I say the average citizenry, to be able to get them to understand why it's important, not just for this, but to make them understand why they embark on certain initiatives. I think that has been their biggest challenge over the time, and I'm hoping that they get up to the task and do a lot more to resolve the situation. But for comments like I shared with you, look, you can sit wherever you want and be like, and the funny thing is, when you read the comments, the exchange that went on with this guy, he later on was like, he's got time telling better stories. And disappointingly, he couldn't even share with me what better stories he's telling. And it's sad, because I would have let it slide if it was anybody else. But for somebody who has a filmmaking, career, someone who is a filmmaker, and for them to make a reckless statement or reckless comments like that, I think we shouldn't let it slide. All the same, if you are creative, if you're a writer and you believe you can write a story that captures or that mentions the Kweku Ananse character that you believe is a strong enough story, I think you should take advantage of this opportunity. There are prize packages. I think the first prize is a 5,000 CDs, and then a 3,000 CDs for second place, and I think about 2,000 CDs for the third place. I think any writer out there who has a brilliant story to tell should. I take advantage of this, put it out there. You never know, something might just come out of this, not just for you but for the entire industry as a whole. And that is why I'm giving my hot take on this. Yeah, so please do leave your comments, do leave your reactions to this as well in the comment section. And if you can go on the NFA's page and find that guy's comment and react to it too, I'll be very, very grateful, because I don't know. I think it's very shallow minded. I don't want to go personal with it, but I think it was from a very ill informed place, particularly since it was coming from a filmmaker. So you do subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in my next hot take on this channel. I'm out.